Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to Chapters and Chill, and welcome to another reading vlog. So, I have not seen ya in a while. When I'm filming this is now, I think, August 9th. I filmed a whole reading vlog for the month of July, and the audio just didn't pick up like it was supposed to, and it just sounded really bad, so I had to scrap the whole video. But anyway, let's talk about this reading vlog. In this reading vlog, I'm going to be reading Six of Crows, but it's going to be a little bit different. My friend Yuritsa, who also has a YouTube channel, I'll link her down below, is going to be reading the book with me. We decided to kind of do a buddy reading vlog together. And we're just going to both be sharing our thoughts as we go along with the reading of Six of Crows and any other book that we read this month. And it's just going to kind of be a compilation of our thoughts together in this video. It's a little different than what I normally post, but I thought it'd be really fun. So I just finished chapter 1 of Six of Crows. Oh my god, I forgot the title of the book. So far in the story, we have our main character, one of our main characters. Apparently there's 6 characters in this book, which for me, POVs do not really work out sometimes, so I'm hoping that this is a good reading experience. But so far we have our main character, Joseph, and I'm probably mispronouncing his name. I apologize. And he is basically waiting for this girl named Anna to arrive at this dock where he is a guard at. He's a guard of this palace, and there's a dock that surrounds the palace, and he's waiting for Anna to arrive to confess his feelings for her. And his friends that are surrounding him are kind of just making fun of him and just bullying him about him liking this girl. It starts to get a little bit darker outside. She has not arrived, and he gets word that she is nowhere in sight. Then we go to her point of view, and she has essentially been kidnapped. And she has been kidnapped because of her abilities. Now, that was a plot twist that I was not expecting, because the only thing I know about this book is that it's about a heist. I did not know that there was going to be a magical element in this story. And the woman got kidnapped for her abilities. Now I'm thinking in the next chapter we're going to have the main character gather with his friends, and they're going to go and save said girl. That's just my prediction. I think that's how the next chapter is going to start. I will keep y'all updated.
Okay, I just finished chapter 1, and wow, is it crazy. I was not expecting for there to be some crazy experimentation. And excuse my ignorance with places in the world, because I didn't pay attention in history class at all. But screaming Germany to me. I don't know if the places are real or if they're made up, but it's screaming Germany to me. Maybe early time period, considering they have servants or slaves or I don't know what yet. I forgot what the main character's name is already. I'm gonna suck at their names. Mostly because of what happened at the end of the chapter. Like, oh my god. Trying to think of what I want to say here. It's still too early for me to really come up with conclusions, because we just changed point of views with the second chapter. But I think the first servant they took, the one that was making the one that was dyeing the clothing or the drapery, she is either dead or ran away. Anya, Alea, whatever her name is, the girl that the guy liked, she's gonna probably run away with the little boy. That's what I'm thinking is gonna happen there. After killing the guards, I'm pretty sure she killed them. She told the kid not to look. And our main character, the main character for this chapter, he seems very He seems very young and a little bit of a pervert, a little bit of a coward. Because he just saw all of this and did nothing. Because he wants to keep his job. Like, he screams teenager to young adult to me. But yeah, I have no expectations for the second chapter other than what I just said with her running away. But I know we're not following her. We're following someone else. Like, it's someone else's point of view, so I don't know. I'm still feeling out the world.
I just got done with chapter 2. It was a pretty long chapter. It was like 45 minutes. Okay, so my predictions from the last chapter were a little bit correct, but also incorrect. So it wasn't Joseph. I keep calling him Joseph, and that is not the man's name. I will put it here on screen. I thought that he was going to be the one that we were introduced with starting the heist, and that was not the case. We were introduced to, oh my god, and we were introduced to Kaz and Inez. I think that's her name, Inez. And basically, they're on this heist. They're doing this heist. We find out that Inez is kind of new to the group in this heist situation, and Kaz Baker is the leader of said group, and he also has a disability. Now, my interest in reading this book at the beginning was because the people have said that this book had good disability representation, and I love seeing the person with the disability be in power. I thought that that was really cool. Instead of them having them as a secondary character, they were at the forefront, and I think Kaz is going to be my favorite character of the book. I love his vibe. But yeah, basically they are taking part in this heist, and Kaz is a badass. That is my thoughts on chapter 2.
I had to listen about twice and ask Gemini, not ChatGPT, twice about who the people were in chapter 2. Because, oh my god, I got confused. Angelo did the right thing by annotating who the heck is who. Because there's a lot of blackmail and crap in this. And I was getting confused thinking Big Bollicker was the leader, and that Kaz was also the leader of 2 different factions, and that's not what happened. Big Bollicker is part of Kaz's group, and he essentially double-crossed him and got shot. Obviously, my old, forgetting words, sorry. What I thought was going to happen in the last chapter hasn't happened yet because we haven't gone back to those characters. With this guy, do I think Big Baller is going to die? I don't think so. I want to say no. Could be wrong. Because the girl whose POV we were following, she didn't help him. No one's going to help him, I guess. But for some reason, I don't see him dying. I still think experiments are going on. This is supposed to be about a heist, is what I was told. So far, we're not getting any heists. We're getting blackmails and kind of like mafia stuff. But no heist involving anyone planning to steal anything yet, so I'll just have to wait and see what happens. Gonna move on to chapter 3. I have no guesses as to what's gonna happen next, because I feel like we're still getting to know the characters. Maybe when we're on like chapter 10 or something, I'll have better guesses. And I'm trying not to use Gemini or ChatGPT or anything to let me know who's who, because I don't want to be spoiled, so that's kind of hard to do too. But it's a fun read. It's an interesting read. It's very much you have to pay attention, very much lots of different things going on. I've read other books where it switches POVs, but that's mostly been Jodi Pickle. So they switch POVs too, but it's all within the same storyline. This feels like I'm reading different stories in the same universe. I find it really interesting that Cass does not know about the magical powers thing. It's really, really interesting so far. I'm wondering what the merchant is going to say to him. Like, what kind of deal is he going to make? Is he going to be able to make the deal? I'm about halfway through the chapter, so I guess I want to make 2 predictions. First one being Cass escapes, although I don't see how, because there's a kid coming in that can walk through walls, so first prediction, Cass somehow escapes and we don't get to find out what deal is being made. Second prediction, Cass does not escape and the deal is going to have to do with whatever the main heist is going to be. I'm hoping for that one because it means we're closer to figuring out what the heck is the whole point of the story. And not just running around people's different point of views that are barely connected. Some of my, I was going to say observation. That's not the word I want to use. Guesses? I don't know, I can't think. It's late. It's really late. But yeah, some of what I said before came true. And some of it didn't. I was wrong. Cass knows about powers. He knows about the powers. The reason why he was surprised was because the people's powers are being enhanced by a drug. A highly addictive, highly dangerous drug that we know what happened to the people in chapter 1. The healer, she's dead. It only takes 1 shot of the drug to be addictive, and they gave her the drug. She was addicted. She saved the little boy. No clue what happened to the guy that was narrating. I feel bad for him because he loved that girl. And we know that Cass is 17, which is crazy because to me that's still a child. But yeah, he's not considered a child in this world. He's a man. Very dangerous man, but a man. And we now got the beginnings of the heist happening. He's gonna get his crew together. So my theory is that, yeah, we're gonna go into someone's point of view. It said it, I forgot who. It's a female voice narrating, so I'm guessing the person's female. And I'm assuming that she's gonna be narrating this point of view, but Cass is gonna go to her to get her as one of his first people that he's going to have, because he was asked by the merchant dude that stole him, kidnapped him. He was asked by that guy to go to somewhere and essentially kidnap the guy that I guess is making the drug, because that guy asked to be saved. Because he's worried about what this drug is gonna do. Apparently they're dying. I don't know, something weird's happening. And people with powers who are getting the drug are slowly withering away because they're addicted. And they're not eating, addiction. But the humans, or at least what I think are humans, the cops that the girl involved, the healer, she did something to them, controlled them, and now they're just standing around, not reacting to anything. So they're also gonna die. And, yeah, that's essentially why this guy hired the thief, Kaz, to kidnap this dude. I'm guessing he's the one that can either make the stuff or stop the stuff, or I don't know. We're still getting into the world building, but it's crazy. It's getting interesting, but it's also a little hard to still follow. But it's an interesting read. I'm enjoying it. And yeah, my prediction is we're gonna start with the heist. We're gonna start getting all our main characters. We know there's 6 of them. And they're gonna collect all of them, and then they're gonna come up with a plan like any other heist. That's all I got so far.
Okay, hey y'all. So me and my friend Yaritza decided to read a different book. We thought that Six of Crows had too many point of views and we couldn't keep track of the characters. So we have decided to read Gallant by V.E. Schwab, and I'm really liking it. Okay, so in chapter 1, we are introduced to Olivia Price. That is our main character. She is at this boarding school, and we're introduced to her when she is getting reprimanded in the kitchen. It seems to me that she's being bullied by another classmate, and she is not, and nobody seems to believe her, so she got in trouble for it and got yelled at. And because she got yelled at, she ends up going outside in her headspace as she is telling us about the school and how everybody kind of like doesn't really pay attention to her. They're afraid of her because she's like, they pick on her a lot. They think that like they call her the ghost of the school because of her pale look. She's also a deaf student, and she tells us that only one teacher decided to learn sign language, but that teacher left. So now Olivia is forced to kind of just write everything on a chalkboard that she wants to say to people, but she decides, I'm not going to use that, I'm just going to keep on using sign language. So I love the writing of this book. It's very poetic, and it's giving me the vibes of Don't Let the Forest In, which is another book that I read with a similar vibe. It's very like haunting, poetic writing, and I'm really enjoying that aspect of things. But yeah, that is all that's going on in chapter 1. Oh wait, also, yeah, the main character can see ghosts. Yeah, she can see ghosts. So yeah, that.
We change books for now because that other one is a little too much at the moment. I'm gonna give what I think now because I just read the little, I don't know, it was 2 minutes long, epilogue, dialogue, synopsis, whatever in the beginning, and it was called The Master of the House. It's not the book title, that was just the title of the little part that I read. And I want to give my prediction now before I continue. Master of the House, he's screaming supernatural. Like the house takes place in some other world alongside maybe ours, because he's looking at a wall and he can see through the wall. And he's saying he's seeing through the other side of the house. So I'm thinking this is the same house on 2 kind of parallel planes is what my thoughts are. And whoever our main character is probably going to run into this house. The thing is definitely supernatural because it disintegrated a mouse. So this screams demon, demonic to me. Part 1 is called The School. And that's all I know so far, so I don't have any real not premonitions. I always forget my words, I don't know why. I don't have any future thoughts as to what this is about yet. I guess maybe the person either moves into the house or are dared to go in the house. I'm assuming it's a school-aged person. I want to say high school just because that seems to be the thing to do unless they actually moved in. It was definitely wrong. My whole thing was definitely wrong. The house is not a house. It's a orphanage. Or an institution, as the child, our main character, Olivia, is a young girl, age not determined. And at first I thought she was weird. And then I felt bad for her. She seems to be a kid that cannot speak or will not speak. She says she's not deaf, but she communicates through sign. No sign, but no one else does. The person that taught her left. And no one else cares enough to teach her, to pay attention to what she says. They wanted her to use a chalkboard, so very messed up towards the disabled. Whether it's actual disability or whether it's trauma related, I don't know. Still messed up that the children seem to not be cared for the best. I thought she was weird because she can see the monster thing. Because there is a monster thing in the shed of the school. So I'm still not sure if the house is the shed or if there's just monsters in this world and they're just, again, a, side-by-side world with the barrier between them. But, yeah. It's interesting so far. The kid was pretty much punished for not helping cook dinner, and she went into one of the matrons, one of their caretakers. They say it's a school, so I guess they're supposed to be their teachers, but they live there. It's an orphanage. I'm gonna call it an orphanage because that's what it seems to be. It's some sort of institution set for independent girls, so I don't know if these are orphans or if these are just children whose family don't want to deal with them and send them to that place. But she's being punished for not helping with cooking, so she stole 3 cookies and a piece of fruit from the teacher Agatha's headquarters or rooms. I'm also gonna, and excuse me if this is ignorant of me, the only other place I've heard the word lemon drops. I mean, this takes place in England or where the British live. I have no idea where those candies originate. I assume it's there. Although I think we also have lemon drops here, but I'm not quite sure. I know I've tried a little hard candy before that I think might be similar to a lemon drop or is a lemon drop. I'm just not sure. So, premonitions for next chapter are honestly not much. She gets caught maybe? Or I don't know if this is going to change point of views. This is by a different author, and we read one book from them already, and it changed point of views, but not quite as much as the last book we were reading. So, thinking we're either going to meet more people, obviously, because we've only met like 2. But I'm not sure if it's going to continue quite from where this girl gets caught, because everyone else is having dinner right now, so I don't know, it's too early for me to predict anything. The other thing that was said is girls do try to leave the place, but they come back wanting to come in, and I guess they're not allowed back in once they run away. But there's nothing stopping them from leaving. But they come knocking at the gate and it's like they won't let them back in. I don't know what's the deal with that either, but...
Okay, so hopefully the fan is not too distracting. It's hot, y'all, in the south. I'm not having a good time. Anyway, I'm on chapter 2. No, I just finished chapter 2. So basically our main character, Olivia, is getting picked on by the other girls in her cohort. still. But she is fighting back. She is fighting back and giving them a taste of their own medicine. Yeah, she's fighting back. She's not being a pushover. And that's all we're getting in chapter 2. We're basically just getting her reactions to the people picking on her. And we finally get the name of the book. That's the name of the school, Gallant. And also, I forgot to mention in chapter 1, people have tried to leave the school, and for some reason they want to come back in. But the rule is, if you leave the school premises, you can't come back in. But something in the outside world is really, really bad that people even try to sneak back in and they can't. So that's an interesting element. What else? And we also find out in the other chapter that I forgot to mention, I'm bringing it up now, that our main character's parents basically abandoned her at the school. They abandoned their disabled child. Yeah. That sucks for her. That just really sucks. But I'm just loving the writing. I know I keep saying that. I'm loving the poetic writing. I think that's my jam when it comes to books like this. If you give me a book with good prose and poetic writing, you have me hooked. But yeah, thoughts on chapter 2.
Oh my god, I feel so bad for Olivia. She's mute, I guess. We don't know why. She doesn't know why. And I feel so bad for her. Like, she's so mistreated there. Her father's dead. Her mom left her a journal, and it's got entries of how she loved her father. It's written to him mostly. And then it starts to change, and it's like she's gone crazy. I don't think she's gone crazy. I want to say she sees what her daughter can see. Because Olivia can see things that she calls ghouls, monsters and stuff, or dead people that no one else can see. I don't know. Ghost things or demonic things, something. But they're calling them ghouls, so that's what she's thinking of them as. And I just feel so bad for her because, like, no one there cares for her. She was bullied. They had a bully incident. And others don't bully her anymore. Because they're afraid of her. And it's just kind of sad. Like, I hope somebody will take her away. And the only thing we have, the name of the book is Gallant. And her mom says that they won't hurt you unless you stay away from Gallant. So I think that's either a place or a person. Not sure which, but it seems like we're just following Olivia's life at the moment. And it's just sad.
Now up to chapter 4. I just finished chapter 3. It's gotten really interesting. So it turns out that our main character may not only be at a boarding school, but it's also doubled as an orphanage, I believe, because they just brought her into the principal's office. And they told her, hey, you kind of aged out of this schooling situation or living situation, and you're going to have to leave. And she panics until she gets a letter from an uncle that has been looking for her. And he tells her, hey, your mom had some mental health issues, and she was scared of her living environment, and she just took you away. But we want you to come back. Now, the thing is, her mother told her prior never to go back to that area. But our main character is in the situation where she's getting heavily picked on at the school or / orphanage, and she's getting kicked out, so she has no choice but to go back to that situation. So I'm guessing, since our main character can see ghosts, because that is a ongoing theme throughout the chapters, that she's going to encounter a lot more supernatural situations going forward. That is just my guess, but we will see.
Okay, this reaction might not be genuine just because I did read a little bit of chapter 4, but Oh my god, I wanted her to get adopted. And what I would have said if I didn't go ahead and read a little bit of chapter 4 is it looks like she might be. Got a letter from an uncle. And we know her age now. She's 14 years old. Had a first kiss and everything, and that's the only way the girls see themselves leaving the place. So I guess not really an orphanage where they can get adopted out. They just, I guess, age out and end up, this is gonna sound gross, but they either end up getting married, it sounds like, to some old dude, or end up being, I guess, maids in other people's houses, is kind of what it alluded to, or anything else that would be much worse than that. So, yeah, not so much happy lives, I guess, unless they find the guy. So yeah, not so much happy lives unless they find a guy and end up with them. But yeah, she got a letter from an uncle and she's being sent off to go live with him. And now, because I said I did read some of chapter 4, it's kind of sad because chapter 4 just had, from what I read, was just them driving, and it's kind of sad that people don't communicate with her in her language. Like, people don't know sign. And that's not obvious. Like, I guess it's like that in the real world too, but I just feel bad for her. Still unclear whether her mother could see I'm gonna call them ghosts because they disappear and reappear. She calls them ghouls because they're not all fully formed, like they're half-formed people, so it might just be an eye floating or half a body floating. Nothing described as, well, it's not described as gory, but I imagine if we actually see it, it would be. It's because they don't always say that all the flesh is there, so I guess it is a little bit gory. But yeah, I'm gonna stick to calling them ghosts, even though she calls them ghouls. And it's exciting. It's kind of mystery, and I'm assuming that the house is the one she's going to, because her uncle, we know what the grant is. The grant is a place, not a person, because that's where her uncle is, and that's where she's being sent, even though her mom's letter journal said to not go there, to stay away from there. So I'm thinking the mom ran away from her family or from a bad situation, and well, now the daughter's going back, so we're gonna find out what that situation is, or if I'm even right about my guess.
Okay, so I just finished chapter 4. And our main character, I made a mistake in the other chapter. I thought the school was called Gallant. That's not the case. The place that our main character has arrived to, the house that she'll be living in, not a house actually, an estate. She was sent to because her uncle was like, hey, yeah, you should come over because we want to meet you and we want you there. And our main character is really concerned about what her mother said about staying away from this place, and also is excited to be at this place and to be in a place where she no longer has to be bullied. So there's two different things going on at once with our main character emotionally. Also, I'm so worried for our main character because she is deaf. And she has just been introduced to these new family members that opened the door to her. And they're asking her all these questions and she can't answer it. All she can do at this moment is give them a letter. And I'm just like, as a person that's disabled, I'm like, oh my God, I hope that these people are nice to her. I hope that she's accepted in this space. Because these are thoughts that occur through my mind when I'm meeting new people. Am I going to be accepted in this space? Am I going to be treated the same as everybody else or differently because I have said disability? So yeah, I'm just like with the character in this moment. I'm like, I hope that like she has a positive experience with these people and that the ghosts don't bother her too much because she's seen things already going into the estate. Yeah, that's my thoughts so far.
Oh, her uncle's dead. He's been dead for a year. So who on earth sent her the letter? The two people in the house, I'm assuming, are servants of some kind. And she has a cousin who does not want her there. And judging off his reaction, I'm thinking my theory of them being cursed is correct. But they're not letting her leave for the night. The cousin wanted to kick her out right away, and they're letting her stay. Because the cousin was reminded that it was nighttime, that it was too late, and he just angrily told her fine at first light. So this very much takes place in some sort of older time period than ours. It talked about the views in the last chapter of how they went from the gray of the city, I guess, or some type of more rural, more residential, more city-like, more buildings and stuff, to the greenery of, I guess, being more in the country or more, countryside or whatever. I don't know, I'm from the city. And, yeah. So, she also said in this chapter, that the tubs were different, that she washed in a metal basin with a cup, where in the house that she's at, it shows the luxury of them having a tub and all of that. And there's one person that knows sign. He's rusty, but someone can communicate with her, which is so nice to see. Not sure if the cousin can. The guy, it's the older gentleman, he can communicate with her. He knows sign. He says he's rusty. There's an older lady, Hannah. There's Hannah. There's, I forgot his name. The old guy, I forgot his name. And then the cousin who's younger. Forgot his name too. I want to say the older guy's name starts with an E, and the cousin's name starts with an H, but I don't remember. And yeah, I guess she was fed. She has a lock. She can lock her door, and she's just enjoying the time that she's there. And I'm assuming that the next chapter is going to be what happens on the next day, whether she gets kicked out or not. I'm guessing no. The whatever ghoul thing, ghost, whatever, is watching her. So, yeah, I'm thinking we're gonna find out what their family secret is by the end of the book. Or at least what these monster things are and why she can see them. She doesn't know she's being watched. But that was kind of how it ended with the last words. Would I want to be in this universe? I don't think I would mind it so far. Nothing scary is happening. But I think it would be to keep the kids safe. Like, I would have wanted to take her away. I would have wanted to yell at all the people that were mistreating her. And yeah, that's all I have so far. I'm just gonna continue on with chapter 6.
Okay, y'all, so I made it to chapter 5. I finished chapter 5, I should say. So, remember how I said I was concerned for her main character because she's deaf, that no one would be able to communicate with her in this new environment that she's in. Luckily for her, she has family members that are there that know how to sign. And I just felt so relieved for the main character. I was like, oh my god, she finally found the place and people that understand her. I was wrong, because a moment later she meets another relative that is not kind at all, and he's like violently shaking her, not wanting to believe that she's actually related to them. and he basically kicked her out. And he is a child, mind you. He's a child. A child. Oh, well, he kicked you out. I guess you could stay the night. Like, what? You're adults. This person is a child. Why are you listening to him? What is going on here? That's where I'm at in chapter 5. I'm annoyed. Like, you should be standing up to the kid and being like, no, you're overreacting. You need to go someplace. She's staying. But no, the fact is, oh, she's leaving. Like, what's that about?
Okay. The author was told to make a video about her books, introducing them. So she did one video. And she described this book as a house that has all the warning signs that you shouldn't go into it, but the girl goes in anyway. And while I didn't agree with her other description for another book that we read together, this was before I had the video idea, I definitely agree with that description. Because the ghouls are now going after her. She's like snooping around the house. And the thing tried to touch her. She ran away scared. But she left the key downstairs, so I know the next chapter starting with her waking up not realizing when she fell asleep. So I'm definitely suspecting that there's going to be some sort of conflict between her and either her cousin, Matthew, that's his name. We also got a description of what she looks like, the girl. Her and Matthew both have gray eyes. And she has black hair that's straight. It's up to her shoulders because she cut it. And very pale skin. I'm not sure about the confrontation really, other than get out of my house. I'm pretty sure she's gonna stay. I also know 100% that that house is the house because they mentioned the garden again. So the garden is drawing her in. She wants to see it before she leaves. She feels like it's something beautiful and she wants to experience that. I feel like we might get an explanation if she can tell them that she sees these things. I don't know if Matthew will tell us if he sees these things. He's kind of angry. But I have a future thing of either we're going to get Matthew's point of view later on if this does continue going into parts. If we do end up changing point of views at all, right now it's all been in Olivia's. Or third person, not sure which, can't remember. Kind of a mix of both, I guess. And if we do get a change, I'm thinking it will either be Matthew's point of view or it will be the adults that have passed away. They don't know if her mom is dead. We can only suspect that she is because Olivia was left at that orphanage place, at that school, mute, with the book, I guess, the only thing that she had with her. So, my hair looks funny like this. So, yeah, I'm guessing that we'll either get a point of view of her parents or her uncle, who we know her father's dead, we know her uncle's dead. Or someone else will tell us. But I feel like we're getting closer to maybe finding out what these things are, or at least why she can see them. She used to think the place was haunted, now she's thinking she's the one that's haunted. I just need to know if Matthew or anyone else can see them, because Matthew was saying he was starting to say things, but like out of anger, but it was like he was holding something back. Like he's like, I was the only one, she can't be here, I'm the last one, kind of thing. And it's like, why would you want to be the only member of your family? unless you had something horrible going on in your family. So I'm thinking they're cursed or something. The mystery thickens. Okay, she did not get yelled at. Hannah's very nice to... I was gonna call her Grace. Grace is her mom. Is a... I forgot the main character's name, but it's the little girl's mom. And yeah, she's nice to her. She knew Grace when Grace was born. And she let slip, Hannah let slip that she's seen many briars wither away at that house, all to keep guard of a gate. My theory for this is the garden, or whatever's behind the garden. Also, I forgot to mention it, but Olivia, that's the girl's name. Olivia saw a statue, a orb slash kind of clock thing. So I'm guessing it has gears or whatever. And it was described as being an orb that had 2 houses balanced on rings. That it was comprised of a bunch of rings. And that it was not comfortable. And that it was 2 houses. So I'm thinking it's a representation of what I was saying before. It's a representation of what I was saying before with the idea that it's 2 separate worlds, and I'm guessing the Briars are keeping the things from getting out, or maybe something more evil from getting out. We also learned that she saw her mother. Pretty sure her mother's dead, unless the ghost things can be brought back to life. I don't know. Don't think they can, because when she went snooping the night before, she followed one, and it was described as being pieces of a woman. Some hair, a bit of her shoulder, and that it was flickering in and out as if it was walking past streetlights, because it was nighttime and they were walking. It was leading her to the study, so it was leading her somewhere. She didn't get to finish checking it out before she ran upstairs, because something came and distracted her. She thought she was getting caught, and she lost her light. So yeah. But all of that was the chapter before. The chapter here, I already said everything that was going to happen there, and I said my theory too, so I guess I'm just rambling now. But yeah, I'm not sure. I really want to know if Matthew can see them too. Clearly they're all hiding something. And clearly Grace ran away from something and it caught up with her, I assume. Because she's a ghoul thing too now. And Olivia knows it now. Because she was given a picture of her mom. I'm hoping that Matthew and Olivia will run into each other this chapter. Part 3 is called Things Unsaid. And it's chapter 11 that's starting, so I think I skipped a couple of chapters. Not skip it, I heard it, but I didn't realize chapters were changing. One thing I will say, I don't like how they ignore her. A couple times she tries to say something, even to Edgar. Edgar's the old guy, Hannah's the old woman, and Matthew is her cousin, who I believe is an adult. Younger, but I think he's of age. And then there's Olivia. I'm gonna keep going because not much happened. Just subtle things happened. I think they realized that Olivia has gotten in trouble a lot because Hannah found her hiding in the study room where the statue thing is. And she doesn't seem to like it. So I think Hannah knows what it is. and didn't like that Olivia thought she was getting in trouble. A little bit before that, they gardened together, her and her cousin, kind of, sort of. We learned about the wall. There's a wall near the garden, and it's broken, but they keep repairing it. I think that was in chapter 9, maybe? Or 8? It might have been 8. I think it's 8. It's 8. It's chapter 8. In chapter 7, she learned that her mother was dead, and it kind of just moved on from there as to what she was going to do. A little bit about her drawings. That might have also been in chapter 8, a little bit about her drawings. So far, she's a very good artist, like her mother was. And the reason why I bring up the wall is because chapter 9 ended with the monster thing. The thing I believe is on the other side, saying that it was hungry and that it just needed one drop and that it just needed her. And the reason why that is significant is because in chapter 9 or 10-ish, somewhere around there, because the chapters are getting short, so it's harder to tell now, she cut herself and she didn't know where to wipe it because she was wearing her mom's dress and didn't want to use the clothes. So she was going to wipe it on the ground when her cousin stopped her. And we learned that Edgar was in the war. So he dressed her up, her wound up. So yeah, she almost gave the demon thing what it wanted. Her cousin still wants her to leave. The other two adults, Edgar and Hannah, are lying about the car. And we found out that Edgar is the one that actually sent the letter, because the letter was supposedly sent by her uncle, but he was dead for a whole year. So how on earth did she get the letter now? So now we know that he's the one that sent the letter, and that they wanted her to say. I have another theory, though, because the monster thing on the other side is called the Master of the House. But Matthew is also the Master of the House, and we're seeing him in and out. He's described as very, very thin, and he did not eat with everyone. The last chapter was a dinner scene, and he did not eat with everyone. So I'm wondering if he's not somehow either connected to the monster thing or turning into the monster thing at night. But I also want to say that's not a thing, because just checking to see if it's still recording. It is, because the place is described as kind of a wasteland. Everything is dying or dead, and the creature, the last sentence ended with the creature saying he's hungry and that he's eating himself at this point, and he just needs to hang in there a little more, just needs to crumble. So I think that's referring to the wall, and that he just needs a breath, a drop. Her was kind of how it ended, and I think that's referring to Olivia. So we go into the next part, which is part 3, and it's called Things Unsaid. And they are not saying things, because they're dropping names. Tom has been dropped. Olivia has all these questions, and it's annoying that the one person in the house that can understand her signing turns away from her when he doesn't want to answer. And I know that's something in deaf culture that deaf people do when they don't want to talk anymore, but it's also a rude thing in the deaf culture. And I'd say it's very rude. I think personally doing it to a disabled person rather than saying I don't want to talk about that, because like she can't talk any other way. And like, I know she tried to break a vase before because her cousin wasn't looking at her and it annoyed her, and he was just ranting that she needs to leave. But it's like, come on. How hard is it to... I don't know. I hate when people don't communicate properly. I want to talk about the ghoul ghost people. The ones that Matthew saw. I mean, not Matthew. Still don't know if he can see them. The one that chased her in, like, I don't know what chapter it was, 3 or 4, something like that. Really early on when she first got there. And I want to talk about that one because we find out in the very next chapter, or the chapter after that, when she sees a bunch of photos, that's her uncle. So the ghosts that are there, the ghouls, the things she calls ghouls, are relatives, dead relatives. And I say that because this chapter started with her waking up from a dream where her mom was touching her, and there was another ghoul there. In the dream, it was her mom, but when she wakes up, the ghoul that's in the bed with her is her uncle. So she just starts drawing, and then her cousin is screaming. So she goes to check it out, and Edgar and Hannah are holding him down, helping him, giving him meds, calming him down. He's screaming that he wants to help someone. He doesn't name the person, he just says him. So that he wants to help somebody, and why won't you let me help? And just yelling things like that he's being hurt. And they're just soothing him, calming him, putting him back to sleep, essentially. And all she's told is that he has nightmares and to go back to bed. So they're very much not telling her something. He didn't eat much dinner. He barely touched his dinner. And in the journals, the mom also says something about these dreams are going to kill me. So whatever's happening, whatever curse, because Matthew did tell them that they're cursed. So whatever curse they have, it's going to affect them. It's going to kill them if they don't, I guess, break it or stop it or whatever. My theory is that she's going to be the key to stopping it. She's going to be the one to stop it. Really. That's just my theory for now. I'm hoping that they work together and that at some point she'll figure out what's going on, or somebody will tell her outright what's going on. I love that chapter because you can really see the emotion and the tiredness in the adults and them dealing with this. But I feel like you could also see the love. That they are a family of sorts, even though they're not related and even though they're probably hired help. Like, they've been with each other so long that it's a family. So it's nice. Oh my god, her mom. Her mom is also a dummy. I've never been stuck in a house like that. It's gotta eventually wear on you. But my god, why? She found this journal that was in her dreams. It's her mom's diary. Her mom had 2 of them. And oh my god. She went beyond the wall too and says she saw death. She says that the thing that they knew about wasn't just stories, that it was real and that she was never going back. But then the thing proceeds to tell us that she was writing to it. So my theory here is either the thing manipulated her into leaving, or she left on her own once things got really bad. But I think she increased whatever was going on. I think Grace made things worse because she was hiding things. Her brother, Arthur, yelled at her when he caught her at the wall, wanting to know what she knew. Yeah, not what she knew, but if anyone saw her and asking her a bunch of info and she lies and says that no, nothing saw her, I assume it's nothing beyond the veil, beyond that gate, that doorway. But oh my god, those demon things manipulated her and made everybody go more crazy quicker. I don't know. I don't have a lot of information. Wondering what the demon thing is. Like, what does it want? Is it just trapped and wants to get out and doesn't know any other way to get out? Is it just hungry? Because it says it's starving. It says it's eating itself. I feel like if they could all just hang on a bit longer and keep pulling those damn weeds, because those weeds come from the other side. The demon thing is just pulling off the wall, just slowly breaking it. So I don't know how they're gonna fix it, but I'm just glad I'm not them. I feel bad for them. I feel like this is also the slowest race ever, where you don't know who you want to win, because winning would mean death. I'm also wondering if this book just doesn't end horribly and like everyone dies, including the demon. I don't think it will. I think this kid's too nosy for her own good. I don't think she'll listen to her mom's diary. She wants to know more about her mom. She didn't know her parents. She's an orphan. I'll find out more than what we want to know, because I don't want to know. I do and I don't. I don't want Matthew to die. He's a jerk. He hasn't been very nice. But I feel like he has the possibility that he can be nice. He's just got a hard life right now. He's bitter, I think. He thought he was the last of his family. He probably thought this was gonna die with him. If they were all trapped there, none of them allowed to leave. It doesn't say how many of them there were. Only that it started with one relative. We know that relative had 2 kids, so I'm assuming there's 2 different branches, because the 2 cousins. And a part of me doesn't want to say, just go have kids and keep the line going, because what does that mean? Letting a kid be stuck there and suffer with you eventually? Because Matthew didn't know his mother, and his father died when he was Olivia's age, which is 14. So the whole family's grown up hearing stories and being told what they needed to do, I assume, when the time came. And Matthew did tell her, do you hear it? Has it spoken to you? So I'm thinking he's thinking that as long as the thing doesn't go into her dreams and communicate with her, and I don't think it has yet, her mom has, unless that's not her mom and that's the thing. And I think it would try to manipulate her slower, not torture her, but try to get her to come to it because it wants her blood. But, yeah. It seems to go into their dreams and communicate with them.
Okay, hey y'all. So I think I last left off talking about chapter 6. So yeah, these are my thoughts so far from chapter 7 to 13. I just made it up to chapter 13. So basically, I know I was like heated, really upset with the guy that like just wanted to kick our main character out the house. But I'm kind of backtracking on that now that we have a little bit more information. So it turns out that he was doing that more as a warning, trying to protect the main character, because basically the house is haunted and weird stuff is happening. And that's basically the gist in a nutshell of what is going on through chapters 7 to 13. The mysteries of this house, our main character's having really weird dreams. She woke up with blood on her hands and she doesn't know how it got there. We also have another mystery unfolding of the mother. We find out that she has passed, but nobody knows how she's passed. And also, the uncle passed away a long time ago before our main character got the letter to come to the house that she's in now. Yeah, that's what's going on. So we're kind of unraveling the mystery along with our character. I thought that the cousin was younger. Apparently he's an adult. But I would not have never thought that with the way that he was acting towards our main character. Yeah, I would have never thought he was an adult. He was acting like a petulant child, honestly. But yeah, that is what's going on. Again, I really love the writing. I feel it's very atmospheric, very poetic. And it just flows very nicely. It's honestly one of those books that you can have on in the background, pay attention to, and not lose track. But also, it's like really chill. Those are the best type of books that I like. But yeah, that is what's going on. 13 chapters in. Yeah.
I do like that they got to spend some time together. Because the dream she had, literally her uncle showing himself, and then she went to go check on Michael. And I love that he didn't push her away. Maybe he was too tired too, he couldn't sleep, he was playing at the piano. And they stay up all night playing together. She doesn't know how to play. He doesn't know how to teach her because his father didn't know how to teach him. His father just sat him down and told him he didn't remember how he learned, so you just sit and pay attention and figure it out. Which is a crazy sentence. But yeah. So he gave her a couple of notes to repeat over and over, and they just did that all night long. And I mean, it's not a happy interaction, I guess, between the two, but it is a nicer one than what they've been having. So I love that the cousins are learning how to get along, and I also wish we knew how old Matthew he's not dead, I get that he's an adult, but I just like to know how far apart in age people are. I'm enjoying it. Okay, I was mistaken when I first read the chapter 14. I thought that Matthew was the one that tried to hurt himself with the gun. And now I'm thinking that, because I know that's not true now. So I think she's getting the memories of what actually happened in the past. Her uncle, Matthew's father, shot himself in the garden. Whether that's true I'm not sure. Or whether that is just a thing torturing them. Again, still not sure. But yeah, it is interesting. I don't have a thing what's gonna happen next for this part, because I did read some of chapter 15. Didn't realize, actually I read all of chapter 15 and moved on to 16 and got confused as to what happened, because I was on 14 and then we skipped 15 and I was just all confused. So no guesses as to what happens, other than one which will be repeated. I was thinking that she might have been half or part or something to do with the things on the other side. We got some more information. we already knew that the master of the house behind the wall, or whatever it is, wants Olivia. You know, that thing had a couple of servants. A couple of shadows, they were called. I guess because they look shadowy. I don't know. I really want this thing to be a movie or something, because there's visuals that I just kind of want to see. But, we know it as... Olivia was reading the journals, right? She has 2 of them now. One that she had forever, which is green, and then the red one that she found in her room. And the ghoul ghost thing that's her mother tried to communicate with her. So she read, I'm assuming, because it wasn't clear, it said the pictures were her father writing them, but the words were her mother's. And the mom was doing something like that. So I'm assuming she had to read one book and then switch to the other line by line, I think is what happened. Hard for me to say if I can't visually see the things, because I don't remember what the things said, even though she read both of them separate. I don't remember what they said. I just know that those were in one of the journals. So she read that and we got more information. The stuff makes a little more sense. He is the shadow thing that the mom first saw when she snuck beyond the gate. So that means that Olivia is somehow half of whatever the hell the things are. I don't know. This book makes sense and doesn't make sense at the same time. So she's half of a creature, and he's half of a creature. And yeah, the thing wants them back. Her father died, I guess, or disappeared or something, leaving a molar behind. And she burns it. She got rid of it. She says in one of the pages that she wishes she kept it to have something of him, but that she has Olivia. So that tells me that that was his body, that they disintegrate or whatever, and that the only thing left behind is a tooth. And in the very last couple of sentences of the whole chapter, it talked about the guy. You know, he was making them. A tooth would go there, an elbow would go here, this would go there, collarbone there, and the molar, the only thing that wouldn't, the only wound that wouldn't close. So I'm guessing that when they disappear, they come back to him, and he didn't, because the molar was also destroyed. I don't know, because he says a part of him is missing, and soon he'll get it back. So I'm thinking that's Olivia. But I don't know. It's a very weird chapter. It's mostly journal. It's an interesting chapter, but it's very weird. I feel like we're piecing the mysteries together, which is cool. But it kind of sucks that we're doing it this way, in a way, like that there's no one tangible to actually talk to. And I'm still left wondering, how much do the actual humans in the house know? Like, what does Edgar and Hannah know? Because when she asked him if the place was haunted, he said yes. But he was vague with it. Like, I imagine all places are haunted, especially one like this house. One that's been around for years. So it's like, no one gives straight answers in this house. And yeah, I just wish somebody would just come out and say what they know, because I'm tired of wondering, how much does everyone know? Like, even she's wondering, Olivia's wondering if the others can see the ghost, or do they just ignore them? Because they're everywhere. Like, she came down and Hannah was drinking tea because it was a horrible day, and a ghoul was sitting there with her. mimicking her posture. She was just reading a book. Elbow on her knee or whatever. Knee, you know what I mean. She's reading a book because there's nothing else to do, she says, and she's old, and the ghoul was kind of mimicking her posture, the parts of it she could see. And then when it realized that she was looking, it disappears, because that's what they all do. And then she sat down with the books, and her mom came to her, or she called her. She said she never tried calling them. So I don't know if she called them or if she just appeared to try to give her that information, but they can't talk. It only had half a mouth, the other half of the face is in shadow, it says. And it tried gesturing and communicating with her. It was hovering its hand over the pages and moving back and forth. So I think that's why you gotta read one side and then move to the next book and read the next line, and it makes somewhat more sense. I don't know. But she realized that the pictures weren't drawn by her mom and that the words were written by her mom, and she says that because the U's never explained, but Olivia thinks it's the shadow creature. I don't know. It's such a weird. It's interesting. I'm gonna move on to the next one and see what happens. But I'm not expecting any great emotional whatever from Olivia, because that's never happened with her. Like, I don't know. I think if it was me, I would have some sort of emotional something. Like, my father not human? What does that mean I am? You know, like, but I guess who's she gonna really have that with? It would be internal. But still, the whole book is through her point of view so far, so you would expect us to have some more internals. Like, things happen to this kid, and, like, there's no reaction. Like, we don't get much emotional reaction from her. Except for when they occasionally want to mention that she cries out and it came out as a hoarse breath. Because she can't speak. She doesn't have... I don't know if she doesn't have vocal cords or what. She studied the neck and tried to figure it out herself. Why she couldn't communicate. So I don't know if it's because she's half of whatever her father is. But I don't know. She's mute. She can hear, but she's mute. And that's the only time we get any hint of any kind of emotion. But yeah, she don't cry or anything. She doesn't really have any emotion. They don't really describe any emotional anything with her so far. So I'm going to move on to chapter 16, I think it is. I'm losing track of where I am. Oh my god, this girl. I don't know how detectives do it, how they just figure shit out. The green journal, the one she's had her whole life, has 2 grooves. 2 scratch marks along the front cover. And her mother, her ghoul mother, put her hand on it, tracing the paths of it, and then looked outside. And that was all it took for this girl to take one book, leave it behind, the red one, take the green one with her, and as if this thing was a key, she fit it into the gap of the door that does not open. That's the one that's on the wall. I got mistaken and thought it was in one of the rooms in the house until it said that she was putting on boots and stuff, and it was describing that she was outside. So yeah, she's outside. She fit it into the door, and that is how those 2 were able to communicate. What the girl does next is really dumb. She doesn't hold on to the book. She just left it hanging there. A random weird gust of wind, which I think is the thing doing it, blew. And the book, because it blew, say the door's here. She's where my face is. The door is here. The other side is everything else beyond it. The thing blew this way. So, book went through the door, landing on the other side. So naturally, she tries opening the door. We actually get some panic and some emotion from her. door doesn't open, so she goes and crosses the thing. And they made so much tension about it. Like, it was a little anticlimactic when we hear nothing was different. She didn't feel nothing. She just walked over. Another gust of wind blew the book, which means the pages that were not glued down because they were ripped out by the bullies at the orphanage started flying everywhere. So she went and she grabbed them, and she grabs the book, and she tries to just walk back on the other side of the wall, just around the corner, because it's just a very thin strip of wall that's cracked and broken. It's only 12 steps, and she can't. 12 more steps appear. So she's like panicking and running, and then gets tired. And then when she turns around and realizes that the field that she was looking at before is not there, that it's another Gallant house, and that she can see the remains of a garden. So she's on the other side now of this wall. Like, why? Why would you? Oh my God. My thoughts. She's gonna stupidly go inside the house. She shouldn't, but she is. And I'm guessing this is why the author she did a video explaining all of her books because she was told to by the publishers. And she did it in a way, it was a short sentence for each of her book series. And she said she was going to tell them about it the way she would want someone to tell them about it. And for this book series, she said, a girl has all the red flags to not go inside a house and goes inside anyway. And I'm thinking this very scene, this next chapter, if that premonition is true, and I can't imagine why it wouldn't be, because what is her other option? To continue to try to pass a door that won't open or walk beyond the wall that keeps stretching? So I think she's going to go inside the house, and I don't know if she's going to meet anything friendly there. If it doesn't happen that way, then my next thing is going to be that the others inside the house, because she did say she was hoping that Hannah was still sleeping by the fire, that, I was going to say Edgar is still working on the shed or something. He's working on something. And that Matthew was sleeping in his bed and not at the piano, because if he's at the piano, he can see. And he would have saw her if she could have. She was like, he would have been really mad to see her coming around the wall. Because she was told not to do that, not to ever go past this wall. And now she knows why. So I'm guessing we're either going to have the chapter be her and her experience beyond the wall, or it's going to be the others found out that she's missing and either are going to know what she did and might get more information, or they're not going to know where she went and they're going to be looking for her. I kind of want the second one just because we might get more information on what they know, because I want to know what they know too. But something tells me it's going to be the first one. It's going to be her at the wall. We are on part 4, which is called Beyond the Wall. But so far, all of the parts in this series that have happened have not gone through a different point of view. It's a fun read. This author's fun. I'm enjoying her stuff. This feels more like a mystery to me, though. This whole wall and everything. And no matter what happens in Chapter 17, we're gonna get more answers. So, I was right. She went into the house, naturally, because there's nowhere else for her to go. And we find out that the master of the house is there, bored and entertaining himself with his own creations. He creates humans that are described as gray, as they're just made out of gray palette, like someone painted them and they're just gray. And then that there's 3 others, which we knew there used to be 4. Don't know if he made them. I think he did. But I was also right in saying that the bones that are left behind small bones or teeth or whatever, they're his. So he creates them. He has wounds on his body when he creates them. Like he said, it was missing a knuckle or tip of a finger. So he takes bits of himself, creates a person or a creature, something. And then when that creature dies, when they turn to dust, the bone come back to him. So that's why he says in the last chapter that something was missing, because he never got that bone. I forgot her name. I want to say George. Started with a J or G. I can't remember the mom's name. It'll show up again later. I'll remember it. But yeah, she destroyed the piece of bone that made. I don't know if I want to say her husband because we don't know if they got married, but Olivia's father, yeah, the piece of bone, she destroyed that. And pretty much Olivia's hiding. She ran the wrong way because she had no choice, and she's now hiding, and the chapter literally ends with the ghouls, because I guess on this side of the world they can touch people. It grabbed her, pulled her away, and she was trying to get to her journal and to the desk because it fell underneath. And yeah, that's how that chapter ended. So here's my guess as to what's going to happen next. I think the ghouls are going to be more substantial here. I don't know if the ghouls are in both places, like if it's her mom, her uncle, Arthur. Arthur, I think, was there. He was described in one of the chapters. She recognized Arthur, but he was mad at her. I just can't remember at this moment whether that was before she went on the other side of the wall or after she went on the other side of the wall. Might have been, I want to say after, but I'm not sure. And yeah, I'm hoping they'll be able to communicate with her here. I don't know if she'll be able to communicate with them, but I'm hoping that they'll be able to communicate with her and that they're friendly and that they'll help her. Because if they don't, then she's just in a bad situation. If we don't do that, but I really strongly believe that's where that's going to go. But if we change POVs, I'm hoping we go back to the house where Matthew, Hannah, and Edgar are and get more information. But I can't see that happening. I think the first thing I said is going to happen. But we'll see. Alright, she made it out. The ghoul is friendly, and I'm pretty sure now. I didn't mention it before. I think it was in chapter like 16 when she first went in. But it seems like she can control the ghouls. I remember now where Arthur came from. Arthur, who is her great ancestor. I don't know how many greats, but he's like one of the first pictures they have up on the wall with all the Briars and Briar, whatever their last name is, photos. And his ghoul looked displeased, like he was angry, and he was going to, I think, stop her from putting the book into the door, and she thought at him, because she can't talk, to stop and stay there, and his face did a little twitch thing, and he didn't follow. Like, he didn't stop her or try to. So she can definitely control those things, and she figured out something else too that I didn't mention before. When she got there, she found the animal teeth and stuff. She thought they were seeds at first, realized they were small bones and bits of teeth, and she picked one up and held it in her hand, and it jumped like a jumping bean. And then the next thing she noticed was she was holding a live mouse. Very confused by how that happened. She thought she was dreaming or going crazy or just confused. And she did it again with some flowers. And she had an idea that she could either sit there and keep doing it, like she wanted to keep doing it because it was pretty and whatnot, or go inside the house, and she ended up going in the house. But she tries to do this with the ghoul that grabbed her. It doesn't say who it was, it just says that he was about the same age as her uncle. So it doesn't tell us much other than an adult. And he tells her through some sort of sign, not sign language, but some sort of gesturing and whatnot, some sort of language that she can follow. So they are communicating in some way, just not the same language. And he tells her, not yours. So that's interesting that that happened. And then the very last thing that happened, and I spoiled just a tiny bit because the echo wouldn't stop playing when I told it to. She left the house, got to a well, there was a statue when she first came in that she saw, and it was a hand reaching out like that, and a woman with a hand reaching out like in warning, like stay away. Statue's obviously broken and stuff, or I don't think it's a statue. I think it's a well. Oh my god, those statue things a water fountain. It's a fountain. And they got water in it or whatever. This one has a ball inside of it. And the next part, because it spoiled a tiny bit, says something about there was a boy. So she's gonna meet someone, and it said that it's not a ghoul, and that's where I stopped. So something tells me that the fountain is the second way out of the other world, because her mom went in there and met her father. Grace went in there and met her father, which is a name that's just the tall shadow or whatever, or her father, or you. It's just how the mother referred him. He didn't get a name. So, her father, and he showed her the way back. So there's another way into that world and out of that world, and I'm thinking she's gonna find it, because when she got out, and I don't remember how she got out, it literally just happened 2 seconds ago. I read it 2 seconds ago. It happened quick. Don't feel like going backwards to find out how exactly she got out. She got out. And her options were to either go back to the wall or go on the road, and she went onto the road and went to the statue. I'm thinking that's the way out. I don't know if this kid is also trapped in here, or if he's something else, but yeah, that's what's gonna happen. So my guess is either this child is gonna show her the way out, or she's gonna find it herself, and I hope she doesn't go back, but something tells me she will go back in. I find it interesting that she can heal what the other guy destroys, because we know he's been eating the animals. And now, I don't know why I didn't put those two things together. I guess I just thought of it as two separate worlds. It kind of is and kind of isn't. I guess they're connected, because she just said this is probably what happened to all the animals that she should have been seeing, because she noticed there are no animals in that area. She didn't see any small creatures, birds, rats, anything, nothing. She's never seen any animals on their estate. And that's why, because he's been eating them. Master of the house, as they called him, or Death, as her Grace called him. And we got a description of him too. He has long black hair, skin the color of ash, and white eyes, just all white, like Death. So it's interesting. Right, she got out. She definitely can control the ghoul things, or at least ask for help by thinking about it. But they're no match for what she called soldiers, which were the 3 shadow people things. And yeah, we got a little bit more, but at the same time, they're not gonna tell her squat, and it's frustrating. I want to grab each and every adult and just shake them. Their blood seals the gates. She left her blood behind though, and I'm wondering if that's a mistake. Or at least she tried to open it on her side, the gate. And he was opening it on his side. So I don't know which one of them actually opened it because both of them had their hands bleeding. But Matthew said, with my blood, I seal this gate. And re-shut the gate. I don't even know if she has her book back. She isn't thinking about that right now because the scene continues. And we find out why Matthew wasn't around. Like why his door was shut. Hannah drugged him. Because he needed rest. He's not sleeping and it's killing him. And he needs to rest, and his response is just, there is no rest in this house. You drugged me, and they're like better drugged than dead. And his response to that was, you let my father die. Like, you saw my father die. Because they're like better drugged than dead, and we don't want you to die, essentially. And he's like, but you saw my father die. You let my brother. So we still don't know what Tom did. Tom is his brother. Or how he died. It's crazy that they're not gonna tell her anything. Like, he eventually turns to her and tells her to leave. That he doesn't want to see her ever again. Pack her stuff and leave. And she wants to yell back that she's a Brierson too. That she belongs here as much as he does. And that if he just told her what was going on, and that she's seen and done things that he could never see her do, and that if he told her what was going on, she probably would have never went to the other side. But she doesn't get the chance to say anything. She just raises her hands, and he turns away from her and walks out of the room. And so she's mad. She, having emotions. She throws all of these stuff on the table, off the table, and tries not to cry because people don't listen to you when you cry. I guess when you're a little girl and you're also mute, they don't listen to your hands. They don't look at your hands. They just see a person crying. So she didn't cry. And the other two adults didn't say anything. They didn't say it was going to be okay. They didn't say to ignore her cousin. They didn't say nothing. So she just went to go pack, and that's how that ended. And I'm hoping she doesn't leave the house. Like, I don't know if anything will... I don't know if there'll be a change of heart. Because her cousin's like, I was meant to die in this house. So I do think she's the key to changing things. I'm hoping that she'll be the key to reverse whatever the curse is. And that Matthew will live whatever remaining parts of his life out in peace. But I don't know. I don't see that happening yet. I don't see how that will happen yet, I guess I should say. And yeah, the chapter just ends with her going to go pack. So I assume she's going to go pack, and I have no idea after that. Again, I just want to shake everybody and just say, tell us what's going on. Like, what on earth is going on? What is the curse? How did it start? What happened? Because it's frustrating. Like, I'm frustrated with this. Like, they're not telling her anything, and then they're getting mad when she's trying to find out what's going on. I mean, mind you, she could have been killed. Like, she did something she shouldn't have done, and I think it's going to affect more than just her. Alright, we're on part 5. She's packing. She decided to take her mom's clothing. She's also decided that if the car comes to take her, that when it stops, because it will have to make a stop, that she's going to run off. She doesn't know where she's going to go, what she's going to do, but she's going to run off. And the master of the house thing is happy. Well, no. First he was angry because she got away. And then he was happy when he saw the flowers, that there's life back in the thing. So I have no clue what that means. I don't know if that's what he wants. Maybe it's just misunderstood and it wants to be healed. It wants to not be deaf. I don't know. But yeah, it's kind of sad. Story's leading down a little bit of a sad, and I want to say dark tone for her. The green book is gone. It's on the other side. She's decided she's not going to go back in there. And she's written down everything that was in the green book because she had it all memorized. That's not why she wants it back. She wants it back for the pictures her father made because she was just getting to know and understand what those meant. And more just because it's the object, it's not really the words inside. So, yeah, there's a couple sad moments in that chapter. And we're on part 5, and it's called Blood and Iron, I think, or something like that. So we might find out because the gate is made of iron, the door is made of iron. So we might find out what that means, or maybe a little more about the family secret. Okay, I'm very much even more confused now about Matthew's age. But we did get the story. Matthew came to her and told her why he wanted her to go, and what happened, and how the story was told to him. It's a shadow. All shadows connect. There's always spots where the shadows connect, and that's where the Briar house is. The 2 houses connect the shadow, the wall. That's why light doesn't hit that spot. The shadow isn't empty, and he got out once. And all the bunch of Briars went and fought him. Of course, they're no match because he's a demon thing and they're human, but they got him on the other side of the wall. They put up an iron gate and they used their blood to seal that gate, to keep it sealed. They built that gate first, and then once the battle started and everything, because he broke down the gate. So when that happened, they redid it and they used their blood to seal it. So his father, Matthew's father, told him that there must always be a Briar at the Gallant house. Matthew thinks that's wrong. And he also explains that the thing wants to get out, obviously. And that 2 years ago, it took his brother. And that normally it doesn't take children. So this is the part that confuses me, because he has a family portrait. And it said in the thing that, in the portrait, when he showed Olivia it, because Olivia was trying to tell him about the boy she saw. The boy was at the bottom of the well. He looks dead, but he's there. So he might be alive. I don't know. That part's unclear. But and showed her this picture. That was the picture that was missing from the wall. And it was his mom, his dad, him looking like he's 13, and then a boy just a little bit younger. He said he was 12. So I'm very much confused as to how old is Matthew? Because if he was 12 and it's only been 2 years, he would be 15. Is 15 a man in this world? I am so confused. We know that Matthew's brother he was taken as a little kid. He was taken 2 years ago as a 12-year-old. In his sleep. The thing only goes after adults because they're easier to manipulate, I guess, and get into the dreams. That's the first time he went after a kid. In his sleep, he sleepwalked and I guess ended up on the other side. And the father was gonna get him. Matthew insisted he should go because he's younger and stronger. And he went, and he didn't go inside the house. He saw the house, but he didn't go in. Because he didn't have to. The iron gate was painted with his brother's blood. So, thought his brother was dead for the last 2 years, and I guess the father died a year later. So this kid this dude, whatever, however old he is, Boston is thinking he's gonna die here too. So that's horrible. And yeah, no, she gave him some hope because now he wants to go back and save the brother. He thinks he's alive and he wants to go there and get him. And that's how the chapters start. I don't know if they're gonna do a rescue mission. My thoughts on what's gonna happen next is if they do a rescue mission, Olivia's gonna revive the brother. Don't know how that's gonna go. Missing for 2 years, but I guess it doesn't matter. This world doesn't seem to have social security, birth certificates, and all of that. That stuff doesn't seem to matter here. So, I think she's gonna revive him. And yeah, she did say that the kid looked a little bit younger than her. So, and we know she's, I can't remember if she's 12 or, no, she's 14. No, that's all I got. That's my premonition for now. I think the other two are probably gonna try to stop him from going. Or Olivia will try to go in his place. Alright, so all of the ghouls that are there on the other side, are Brierson. Or Briars. I still don't know how you say their last name. But yeah, they all went to go fight and never returned. They were either left there to fight or died there. And she called them for help. She was tricked. She thought she found him in his room because Matthew showed him where Tom's room was, right next to his. Literally a room in his room, the way closets are in your room. And, yeah, wasn't him. Was an obvious trick. She tried to ask for help from the ghouls before that. They wanted her to go back. They didn't want her to look. So, she's been tricked, and he has her. He took her. She tried to get her relatives, the other ghouls, to help her. And he's just like, cute trick. She tried with the knife. And that didn't work. And yeah, he has her now, and that's how that chapter ended. And I don't know what will happen next. He's like, is that how you treat family? So, he's one of those caca relatives you don't want as a relative. Don't ever go to their house for Thanksgiving or anything else, because it's a caca relative. It's a pew-pew relative. But yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking either he's gonna torture her, or if this kid's alive, maybe he helps. Maybe she finds out if he's actually alive and it's not a trick, but I'm getting the feeling that it isn't, because the others would have tried to tell her that, I think, if it was. So I think he is alive. Or at least there. In some other capacity that's not a ghoul. And honestly, short of her getting some other power that she doesn't know about yet, I don't know how she'll get out of it. I have no thoughts as to how she'll get out of it. She woke up, and he just taunted her a bit, read the journal. She tried fighting him. He wanted to see her powers. Now he's gonna tell her a story. While she's trapped and unable to escape because he's got her surrounded. And yeah, he's gonna tell her some story about her parents, because he just, not revived them, but made a version of them. So he's using imagery to tell whatever story he's gonna tell. Because he told her that they're lying to her, that he's inevitable. I can't say that word at the moment. And that he's just gonna happen. He's part of life. Which, okay, true, life and death are part of each other, but I don't know, I don't think I would trust him. He did call her his niece, though, so maybe he doesn't make the things. They don't have names. It's just the stocky one, the thin one, the short one, and I guess her father, who's not there anymore, is the tall one, but her mom made it sound like he made them, and she said she noticed the missing part in his mouth, the missing tooth, I guess. So technically they are part of him, so don't know why he's calling her his niece. Wouldn't she be like his child in a weird way? Or if he wants to say these things are his kids, grandfather, but semantics, I guess. So we're gonna find out more history. I'm hoping she'll get away. She can control what she revives. She revived the crow because that's what he wanted her to do. And she told it to attack, and it did attack him. But of course he just kills it again because he can do that, so I don't know how she'll get away. I'm hoping she still will get away, but she won't leave without her cousin. She's trying to find him. She literally has no help, so I don't know how she's gonna do this. He's alive. She found him. And we found out, I mean, the story was mostly him teasing her because he's been reading the journal. But we do find out a little bit more. He created the 4 shadows. Her father was the first one, the tall one. He was the first one. And the longer the shadows are alive, the more they get, I want to say life, sentience, become their own. So that's what happened to him. Can't remember whether it was the broad one or the skinny one. Just know it was the second one because that's the last thing he told them. That one comes to life. I don't know if Olivia did it or if it came to life on its own. Can't remember. Happened kind of quick. She asks it to protect her, so I'm assuming that she brought it to life, and then he put some gloves on her so she could stop touching stuff and bringing them back. And it fought for her. She went running. It does die. It was bone. It was a rib. A rib is what was keeping that thing alive. So he has his rib back and is down 2 shadows now. And told everything else, the ghouls, the shadows, the dancers, because he brought those back, that there's a mouse in his house and to go find it. Well, she ended up running into the cellar using a secret passageway that her cousin taught her. Ended up in the cellar and thought that something was going to get her because she could hear noises. And it's her cousin, not a ghoul, not anything out to get her, it's her cousin. And I said those 2 things out of order. She found the cousin first before the thing told its servants to go find her. So yeah, this is part 6 now, and it's called Home, so pretty sure they're gonna get home. Probably in this chapter. And I guess we'll find out how sane Thomas is, because he's been living there for the last 2 years, and it seems like he's just been hiding from the thing that whole time. Like the cellar door, the secret passageway was big enough for a kid or a small girl. So perfect for him to hide in. And she did say that there was food, like jars of food, empty food. So I think that's how he's been surviving. How he ended up in the thing before, I don't know. Maybe he finds him and catches him every so often. I don't know. But... or he's trying to get away, probably. Trying to go back. And can't get back on his own. But either way, I'm sure he's gonna be safe and go back now. And yeah, that's all I got. That's my only prediction. I just want to see him go back, and I want to see what he says and his thoughts, and whether or not this helps Michael. It will help Michael with his grief and pain, I think. But I could see the monster, the master of the house, getting worse. Like with the dreams and with everything. Because he's now losing. Or at least that's how I'm seeing it. He's going to get more desperate is what I'm trying to say. So yeah, can't wait. It's good. It's exciting. He was never alive. It was a trick the entire time. He never spoke. He was just a creation the entire time. And I'm a little confused because it said that they slit Matthew's throat, but I guess they didn't cut deep enough. Because I don't know, she wasn't thinking that he was dying, but yeah, he's in their world. They messed up. The upkeep of the iron wasn't proper. It was rusty. And the whole thing was iron on blood on iron, not blood on rust. So he thought he closed the gate. He did not. And so the bad thing is getting out and told its minions to kill them. So they're gonna struggle right now. They're gonna probably fight for their life, or if Matthew is dying, I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that she'll just revive everyone. If not just for the battle, then... But no, I don't think she will, because he did tempt her with the parents, saying she could bring them back and she could be happy there, and... But it's a lie, and that's not what she wanted. She wanted to be with the Grant, in the Grant house, with the people she's seen as family, kind of, and yeah. And she thought about the same thing with Tom, with the fake Tom, but thought the same thing, that it'd be just like the parents. It wouldn't be real. He'd be stuck on the other side, and that it wouldn't be right. So I don't think she's ever going to revive a human intentionally. But yeah, I don't know where this is going. I don't know how they're gonna escape unless they can get another family or something to do the blood thing, or I don't know how they're gonna get him back into the thing, into the shadow world, or whatever we're calling it, in the first place, because it took a bunch of them to fight to the death before, and there's only 3 of them now. So, no clue how they're getting out of that. No predictions other than they're either gonna find some miracle and make it out, or book's gonna end with them all dying, which would suck. I didn't realize, because either this is bad at describing what things look like, or I'm not imagining it properly, because I didn't realize that they weren't wearing full suits of armor. They only wear armor for the parts of the body that they were created from. So if it was a rib, they have the armor for the rib. Her father wore the helmet because he was made from the tooth. So she realizes this and fights them. Her cousin also realizes this, and they kill one of them, but they let the other one, they leave the other one alone to make it through the door to try to stop the main bad guy. And They make it through. And he has vines holding the door open, so Matthew has Olivia try to break the vines so that they could shut the gate. And he goes after the master, the bad guy. And halfway through, them kind of not really fighting each other, but him trying anyway. He's yelling for Olivia. And she's thinking, I'm trying. And she's not seeing that the last shadow that they didn't kill came through the gate too and is about to stab her with the sword. She doesn't close her eyes. She's happy about that part. She wasn't afraid. And then realizes why is she not dying. That there's no pain. And it's because Matthew has the knife clean through and through. So he tells her to get rid of him, to kill him, essentially. Not Matthew, but to kill the bad guy. So she nods, and sadly it's too late. Like, Matthew's probably gonna die, but she does sever the gauntlet, and the piece of bone falls, and yeah, that's how that went. So sadly, I don't get my happy ever after. Well, not that I wanted them together, but I wanted Matthew to not end up like the rest. Like, I know that was probably not. It's still sad that he's gonna end up the same way as the rest of the family, and that she probably will too. They're all just gonna die trying to get rid of this thing. I don't think she will. Like, I think they want us to think of it that way, that she's also gonna die. But I don't think she will. I think she'll be the one to stop it. It's just also gonna suck because she'll literally be the last person in her family, and she didn't really get to know them, you know? Like, Matthew was finally kind of being family to her, and they could have had something, you know? Like, she could have had a family of 3. One person actually related to her, and the other 2 just well-beloved people who take care of them all, and that didn't happen. Or I don't think it's gonna happen. I don't know, I get the feeling this takes place in a older time period. And even if it didn't, pretty sure it's still rare, even if it happened in our time period, that you would survive having a sword straight through you. Like, it happens to people. People do have stuff go through them. Some dude had a tree through him and he survived and ended up making a cross out of the pieces. But, like, I can't see that happening here. This is gonna be the last chapter and the epilogue both. And yeah, it was sad. He dies. Of course. Who's gonna survive through and through sword wound? And they stay with him because he asked. And I think because they would have stayed anyway. Until he falls asleep. But they stayed until sunrise with his body. And they put a marker where he passed. He's not buried there, he's buried in the cemetery. And the epilogue is... It doesn't say how long it's been. It could be a couple months. It could be a couple days after. Who knows? It doesn't say. But, they're all just taking up as much space as they can in the house because it's too small for 3 people. So all of them make noise. He's a ghoul. Because it ended with her going to the piano and him hovering his ghoul hands over the keys so she could play them. So he's still teaching her how to play the piano, which is nice, but yeah. It's sad, I didn't want him to die, and she's having trouble sleeping. She keeps the leather restraints. She doesn't need them yet, but she keeps them under her bed just in case. And Thomas locks the doors. I mean, not Thomas, sorry. Edgar locks the doors, and Hannah makes sure the windows are locked, and her ghoul mother stays by her bed, I guess every night. And yeah, I'm guessing they're either gonna wait him out, and at some point the dreams are gonna stop coming because he'll be dead, or she'll end up going the same way. But the way they stopped him was kind of cool because she asked the ghouls to help her. And Edgar shot him with the gun. Didn't work, but still badass to hear a gunshot was fired because he was holding on to her. And yeah, she asked for the ghouls to help. And he's like, foolish girl, weren't you listening? And she's just thinking, yeah, she was listening, that he said the ghouls that were on his side of the gate were his to control, but the ones on the Briar side were hers to control. So they pushed him back. They all pushed him back into the gate, and she shut the door and sealed it with her blood. And yeah, that's how they defeated him. And then they all went over to Matthew and stayed with him until he passed. And yeah, that's... I told you stuff out of order, but yeah, that's how it happened. That's how everything just happened. And yeah, I'm sad that he passed, but he finally gets to sleep. And he gets to be with the rest of his family. I'm wondering if it's because they're cursed, if that's why they all end up as ghouls. Because every single one of them are ghouls. Or if it's just that they died in Brierson, I was gonna say Brierson. Is it just that they died at the Grant's house and beyond the, on the other side of the Grant's house? Like, is that what made them ghouls? Or is it because they're cursed? Like, we're not gonna get that explanation. Do I feel like there needs to be another story, another book, another thing to finish off the story? Yes and no. Could there be something else to finish it off? Yeah, there could be. Could it maybe end up feeling like every other continuation? Where you have a next generation? Where you have the next generation trying to kill off something? Yeah, if they go that route, yes. Very much so. It could feel like a cheap imitation of this story. So instead, if they ever needed to have another book, I'd say do it as a short story. Where you could even do it as 2 short stories, because I wouldn't mind hearing about her mom and her father. And have a little like novella type thing of how they ended up, just a little short story of the actual like meeting and everything and all of that. Like that would be cool to see. Or just a short little thing on him actually dying or losing or whatever. However the story between the Briar family and him would actually end, because she's like, yeah, you can't kill death, you can only contain it, or I forgot what word she used, something like that. Pretty much they could only put him back behind the gate. So that just leads me to think, is he actually ever gonna die? Like, what happens when the last Briar's person died? Like, if she goes on to never have kids, she's gonna be the last one, then what happens? Does the house just end up calling another family who ends up going through this whole mess again? Because if he can't die, then this is just gonna keep repeating. So, I don't know. I feel like you could have a sequel, but I feel like it has to be short and it would have to be done very well to not feel like some sort of cop-out, some sort of cheap imitation of this story. So I don't think I would want to do a next generation type thing where she has kids and they end up defeating it. Although it would also be nice to know that she's not the last person of her family and that they all died out. Because that's always sad to hear. But it happens in real life. Names die out or entire families get wiped. Choose not to have kids and that's it. No, she's fighting and it literally ended with her cousin teaching her how to do the piano. So it was a bittersweet ending. Would I recommend the book to anybody? I think it would have to be the right type of person. Like, I would say this is a mystery. This very much, I don't know what the genre is. We just picked it and read it because we read the other story. We read the synopsis a little bit, or not even, I didn't even read the synopsis. So I don't know what the genre is, I didn't look. But I feel like I would, person can't be too sensitive. Made me cry, it's stupid because I just didn't want Michael to die. But I guess if you like mysteries, if you like slow mysteries, if you're not bothered by the main character being unable to speak and having some disability representation that's not always the best in terms of like deaf culture and stuff, I don't know how a deaf person would actually like or dislike reading this. I mean, it's not about deaf culture and it seems to be written in a different time period, so maybe they would probably be okay with it because I do know, all I know about deaf culture is way back when they were treated as if they were mentally disabled, as if they weren't capable of learning, and they were institutionalized a lot of the time. And I could very much be wrong about that. I did watch a movie where that was the case. It was about a little boy bothered by some of the disability stuff, them just turning away, them not giving her a chance to speak, and then they're hiding everything from her. Nobody told her anything until, honestly, until the very end of the book, so that's frustrating. So if you wouldn't like any of that, if any of that would bother you, or you're sensitive about any of that, then I wouldn't recommend it. I would say it's also a bit of a slow book. I want to call it a slow burn. I'm pretty sure that's only used for, I feel like that's only used for romantic situations, like romantic situations where they get together but it's slow. I could be wrong, I don't know. I've only seen it in romantic situations. But I'd say it kind of is because it takes a while to figure out what's going on. But it's fun. It's interesting. I would want to see this turned into a movie or an anime or a show or just some sort of visual. I feel like it would be a little creepy but also a little bit enjoyable to see it as a visual. That's about it. That's all I got. I enjoyed the book. I love the author. I will read more of their stories, her stories. Thank you for watching this video if you lasted this long, because it's gonna be a long one. And catch you all in the next one. Bye.
Alright, hey y'all. So I finished the book. It was really good. I enjoyed it. I think I last left off where I was talking about the main character having difficulty struggling with the reality of what was going on in her life and the supernatural aspects of things. The lines became very blurred. Like, very intensely blurred, to where you as the reader were just as confused as the character, and I think that was the point. Eventually, she gets the aid of people in her household to help her with the situation that she's in and all the spooky stuff that is happening, and it gets a little scarier. Like throughout the book, it's like this very gothic kind of vibe that's kind of chill, a little spooky, a little like chilled but very spooky, and we're just going with the vibes. And then our character is kind of in peril, and you're like, oh my god, this is like a really serious situation our character is in. What's gonna happen? And that was like the vibe from the middle of the book towards the end. You're just like on your toes, trying to figure out what's gonna happen to this character and everyone around her as she's unraveling the mysteries of this castle and the mysteries of her family. Had a really bittersweet ending. I enjoyed it. I was sad and I was also happy for the character. And I love the found family aspects of the story. It was just really, really well done. I would definitely recommend, if you're looking for like a cozy gothic story that you can just listen to and vibe out to, definitely check out this book. You won't be disappointed. Y'all, I literally just broke my tripod. I'm so upset about it. I was trying to fix the tripod because I have to add an outro because I forgot to do that earlier and it snapped. Anyway, just want to say thank y'all so much. If you made it this far, really thank you, because this vlog is like an hour and something long. It's crazy because I've been editing all day and I can't seem to cut out any parts because everything that was said in the vlog was important to the vlog. But yeah, thank you so much. I want to see if me and my friend Yary will be doing this on a weekly basis. I'm gonna see if we can manage that because I thought it was a lot of fun. But I will definitely leave her channel link down below so you guys can check her out. She does lifestyle content, but I believe she said that she will also be doing book content when we do our buddy reads. So there's that. But yeah, I'll link her channel down below so you can check her out, and I will see you in the next one.